Hey guys, tonight we're staying up way past bedtime. The rain taps a slow Morse code against the library's tall windows, each drop sliding down the glass like it's trying to sneak inside. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, that low electric drone that always feels louder when the building's empty. Somewhere down the hall, a locker door creaks open by itself, then sighs shut. I'm sitting cross-legged on the study corral, hoodie zipped to my chin, phone propped against a stack of biology textbooks. You probably won't make it to morning after this one. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your city and local time in the comments. I always read them when the sun comes up and I'm still shaking. Now, dim the lights, maybe crack open a window for that midnight breeze, and let's walk the halls together. It started 3 weeks ago, right after midterms. Our school, Ridgewood High, sits on a hill that used to be an old orchard. Real local history. The kind teachers mention once during freshman orientation and never again. The library takes up the entire east wing, 2 stories of brick and oak shelves built in 1958, the year the town voted to expand after the baby boom. I know the layout by heart. Circulation desk dead center, periodicals to the left, microfiche graveyard in the back, stairwell to the mezzanine on the right. Standard late-night study spot for seniors who can't sleep. Except I kept hearing the rumor from the janitor, Mr. Delgado, who's worked here since the 80s. He told me, voice low while pushing his mop bucket past the vending machines. La section que aparis después de medianoche. Don't stay past 12, mijo. I laughed it off. Everyone knows the urban legend. A hidden aisle that materializes in the library stacks only after the clock tower chimes midnight, filled with books that aren't in any catalog. Kids say if you find it, you learn something you can't unlearn. I figured it was just another story to scare sophomores. Tonight I'm testing it. Finals are brutal, and the idea of a secret study nook sounds better than cramming in my dorm. The building locks at 10, but the side door by the loading dock has a busted latch. Realistic anchor. I've slipped through it since junior year. I wait until the last light in the parking lot clicks off, then shoulder my backpack and step inside. The air smells like wet paper and lemon polish. My sneakers squeak on the linoleum, each sound echoing twice, like the hallways answering me. I flick on my phone flashlight, sweep the beam across the circulation desk. The digital clock above the return slot reads 11:47. 13 minutes. My pulse is already up, curiosity buzzing louder than the fluorescence. I weave between the tables, past the encyclopedias no one opens anymore, toward the back wall where the local history section gathers dust. That's where the rumor says the shift happens, between the microfiche cabinets and the oversized art books. 11:52. I lean against a shelf, thumb scrolling absently through my camera roll. Old photos from Spirit Week, the homecoming dance, that group selfie in the cafeteria where Sarah's making bunny ears behind my head. Sarah. She graduated last year, moved to Portland, hasn't texted in months. I swallow the sudden ache and glance up. The lights flicker once, just a stutter, like the building inhaled. 11:55. A draft moves through the stacks, carrying the faint scent of chalk dust and something metallic, like old coins. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. The thought arrives uninvited, quiet but heavy. I shake it off and edge deeper, past the last row of periodicals. The wall here is solid cinder block, painted that institutional beige that hides fingerprints. Except tonight there's a seam I've never noticed, a hairline crack running floor to ceiling, glowing faintly, like moonlight trapped inside plaster. 11:59. My breath fogs in a sudden chill. The clock tower outside begins its chime. 12 slow bronze notes that vibrate through the floorboards. On the seventh chime, the seam widens with a sound like tearing paper. Not loud, intimate. The wall folds inward, revealing a narrow aisle I swear wasn't there 10 seconds ago. Bookshelves line both sides, but the wood is darker, older, warped by decades of humidity. The titles on the spines are handwritten in faded ink, no Dewey Decimals, no barcodes. My flashlight beam trembles across them. Ridgewood disappeared, 1963. The orchard beneath the foundation, voices recorded in the vents, 1987 to 1992. I step forward, heart thudding so hard I feel it in my teeth. The floor underfoot changes from tile to creaking hardwood, the kind that protests every shift of weight. Behind me, the entrance seals with a soft click, like a book closing. I spin, but there's only shelf now, seamless. The air thickens, tasting of dust and candle wax. Curiosity drags me deeper. 10 paces in, the aisle doglegs left, then right, a maze that shouldn't fit inside the library's footprint. My phone signal drops to 0 bars. The flashlight dims. Batteries shouldn't drain this fast, then flares back. I pass a cart abandoned mid-aisle, stacked with yearbooks from decades I've never heard of. 1942, 1957, 1971. The covers are leather, cracked and peeling, gold lettering flaking away. I stop at one labeled 1963, the year Mr. Delgado mentioned. My fingers hover, afraid to touch. A whisper drifts from the vent overhead, too soft to catch words, but the cadence is familiar, like the morning announcements, only slower underwater. Fear prickles the back of my neck. I should turn around, find the exit, laugh this off tomorrow over burnt cafeteria coffee. Instead, I pull the yearbook free. Dust plumes up, catching in my flashlight like smoke. The pages stick together, smelling of mildew and something sweeter, almost like apples left too long in the sun. I open to a random spread. Black and white photos of students in saddle shoes and Letterman jackets, hair slicked back, smiles frozen mid-laugh. But their eyes, every single pair, are scratched out with a ballpoint pen, deep gouges that score the paper. My stomach flips. I flip further. A candid shot of the library, same circulation desk, same tall windows, but the clock reads 12:03, and in the foreground stands a girl I recognize from the dedication plaque by the entrance. Eleanor Hayes, class of 63, died in a car accident senior year. Except she's staring straight at the camera, head tilted, mouth open as if mid-sentence. The caption beneath reads, Eleanor checks out her final reserve. The next page is blank except for a single line in red ink. The section keeps what it borrows. My hands shake so badly the book slips, thuds to the floor. The whisper from the vent resolves into a name. My name, spoken in my own voice, but delayed, like an echo from the bottom of a well. Revelation hits cold and sudden. This isn't a prank, isn't a hidden study corral some seniors built for kicks. The aisle breathes around me, shelves inching closer when I'm not looking directly at them. I back away, yearbook forgotten, and sprint for where the entrance should be. My shoulder slams into solid wood. No seam, no glow, just the smell of old paper and the sound of pages turning by themselves somewhere deeper in the stacks. The flashlight flickers again, then steadies on a brass plaque I missed on the way in. Section 13. Restricted access after midnight. Below it, etched smaller, almost scratched, return what you take, or become the bookmark. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, and this one's already writing itself across my skin in goosebumps. Word count, 1218. Awaiting continue section 2. The aisle behind me exhales, a slow push of air that smells like the inside of a lunchbox left in a locker all summer. My phone flashlight stutters, then steadies on the brass plaque again. Section 13. The letters pulsing like they're breathing. I spin, searching for the dogleg I came through, but the shelves have rearranged themselves into a straight corridor that ends in darkness. No left turn, no right, just forward. My sneakers stick to the hardwood. Someone spilled soda years ago, and it never got cleaned. The sweetness clings to the air, mixing with dust and the copper tang of fear in my mouth. I take one step. The floorboards answer with a groan that sounds like the building clearing its throat. Another step. A book slides out from a shelf on my left, hovering an inch above the carpet runner before dropping with a flat clap. Its cover is blank, black leather soft as skin. I don't touch it. I keep moving, counting heartbeats instead of paces. At 23, the aisle widens into a reading alcove I've never seen on any floor plan. A single study lamp glows on a round table, the kind with the green glass shade that every teacher's lounge used to have. The bulb flickers 60-watt warm, throwing long shadows that crawl up the walls like ivy. Realistic anchor. Ridgewood's library renovation in 2012 replaced every fixture with LEDs. But this lamp is original, cord frayed, plug prongs yellowed with age. Someone dragged it here from storage. Or something did. I edge closer. On the table sits an open card catalog drawer. Oak, brass pull, the little metal label holder bent from decades of fingers. Inside, index cards are typed on an actual typewriter, the letters slightly misaligned. I read the top one under the lamplight. Hayes, Eleanor M. Lost, March 14th, 1963. Returned, never. C. Orchard incident. My throat tightens. Eleanor again. The girl from the yearbook, the one whose eyes were scratched out. I flip to the next card. Delgado, Ramiro J. Lost, October 31st, 1987. Returned, November 1st, 1987. Partial. C. POS system malfunction. Mr. Delgado, the janitor who warned me. His card smells like the lemon polish he uses on the cafeteria tables. I slide it free. The back is blank except for a faint brown thumbprint. Human blood, dried decades ago, or maybe just rust. I drop it like it burns. The drawer rattles, more cards pushing forward as if eager. I slam it shut. The lamp flickers harder, the bulb whining like a mosquito. Curiosity tugs me toward the shelves framing the alcove. The books here have no titles on the spines, only symbols, circles inside circles, apples split by lightning, a tiny keyhole drawn in red ink. I pull one at random. The cover is heavy, vellum over wood. Inside, the pages are handwritten, ink bleeding through from the pressure of the pen. The first entry is dated September 12th, 1958, the exact day the East Wing opened. It reads, "They paved the orchard for progress. Roots don't forget. We water them with midnight." The handwriting shifts halfway down the page, smaller, frantic. Same pen, different hand. I turn the page and freeze. A charcoal sketch of the library mezzanine, but the railing is wrapped in apple blossoms that drip something darker than sap. Beneath it, a list of names. 23. All crossed out except the last. Eleanor M. Hayes. Her name is circled in red, the ink still wet. I slam the book shut. The alcove lamp pops, plunging me into darkness for one heartbeat. 2. When it flares back, the table is empty. No drawer, no lamp cord, just the green shade lying on its side like a dead beetle. Fear arrives cold and precise, the kind that makes your knees forget how to lock. I back away, bump into a shelf that wasn't there a second ago. Books topple, pages fluttering like trapped birds. One lands open at my feet. A photograph glued to the page. The 1987 Halloween dance. Jim decorated with paper bats and orange streamers. In the corner, Mr. Delgado, younger, hair still black, stands beside a girl in a witch costume. Her face is scratched out, same gouges as the yearbook. But her hand rests on his arm, fingers curled possessive. Caption: Ramiro promised her one more song. The PA speakers in the photo are circled in red, wires snaking down into the floor like roots. The alcove breathes again, warmer this time, carrying the scent of cafeteria pizza and teenage perfume. I hear music, faint, tinny, the same song they played at every middle school dance, Sweet Caroline, but slowed to a crawl, each note stretched until it hurts. It's coming from the vents, same as the whisper earlier. I look up. The grate is loose, one screw missing. Something moves behind the slats. Pale, quick, gone. My phone buzzes in my pocket, impossible with no signal. The screen lights up. A text from an unknown number. You open my card. Rude. The letters appear one by one, like someone typing in real time. I drop the phone. It lands face up, the message still glowing. Another buzz. Close the drawer next time. The alcove lamp is back on the table, shade upright, bulb steady. The card catalog drawer sits beneath it, lid open. But now every card is blank. I backpedal, trip over the fallen book, and scramble up. The aisle has narrowed again, shelves leaning inward until the gap is barely shoulder wide. I squeeze through, palms scraping rough wood. Splinters bite. Behind me, the lamp clicks off with a sound like a tongue. Revelation lands soft but brutal. The section isn't hidden, it's hungry. It rearranges itself around whatever you disturb, feeding on the attention. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, and this one grades in disappearances. My flashlight catches a glint ahead. Another brass plaque, smaller, nailed to a shelf at eye level. It reads, "Borrow wisely. Overdue fines are permanent." Beneath, someone carved fresh letters with a key or fingernail. Help me find the exit. The grooves still bleed sawdust. I run. The aisle twists, forcing me left, then right, then left again. Books whisper as I pass, pages riffling without wind. One shelf ends abruptly in a mirror, full-length, antique, frame carved with apples. My reflection stares back, but it's wrong. I'm still in my hoodie and jeans, but the me in the glass holds the 1963 yearbook, eyes scratched out. It smiles with my mouth and lifts a finger to its lips. Shoo, the real me doesn't move. The mirror me steps backward into darkness that shouldn't exist behind glass, and the surface ripples like water. I reach out. Can't help it. My fingertips meet cold reflection, then sink through. The mirror sucks at my wrist, gentle but insistent, like a mouth testing temperature. I yank free. The glass is solid again, my reflection gone. In its place, the alcove, lamp glowing, card catalog waiting. I'm back where I started the chase. The section looped me. My phone buzzes again, Screen cracked from the fall. Time to check out a news story. The floor tilts. Not much, just enough to make my stomach lurch. The hardwood softens underfoot, turning spongy, like walking on orchard soil after rain. I look down. Between the boards, pale roots push up, thin as capillaries, curling around my sneakers. They pulse. I stomp, but they're stronger than they look, winding up my ankles with a sound like tearing Velcro. The scent of apples is everywhere now, cloying, rotting. I think of the orchard paved over in '58, of progress and promises and midnight water. The roots tighten. I drop to my knees, clawing at them. They bleed when I break them. Dark sap that smells like the inside of the vending machine after a power outage. My fingers go numb. Above me, the shelves lean closer, books sliding out one by one, stacking themselves into a staircase that climbs into shadow. The top step ends in nothing. An invitation. I look back. The mirror is there again, but now it shows the main library, circulation desk, tall windows, rain still tapping. Safety, 10 feet away. I crawl toward it, roots dragging at my legs. My hand crosses the threshold where hardwood meets tile, and the cold linoleum bites my palm like ice. The roots snap, retreating into the floor with a wet sucking sound. I tumble forward, sprawl across the boundary. Behind me, the aisle folds in on itself, shelves slotting together like puzzle pieces. The mirror cracks down the middle, spiderwebbing. A single drop of sap slides down the glass, leaving a red streak. Then silence, just the hum of fluorescence and my own ragged breathing. I lie there until my legs remember how to work. The clock above the circulation desk reads 12:47. 47 minutes gone in what felt like 10. My phone is dead, screen black. I stagger to my feet, look back at the wall. Solid cinder block, no seam, no glow. But on the floor, half under a study Corel, lies a single index card. I pick it up with shaking fingers. My name, typed in fresh ink. Lost, tonight. Returned, pending. See, section 13. Word count, 1241. Awaiting, continue section 3. The card trembles between my fingers like it's still deciding whether to stay solid. My name stares back at me, typed in the same misaligned font as the others. I flip it over. Blank. I shove it into my pocket anyway. Evidence, or maybe a receipt. The main library feels too bright now, the fluorescence harsh after the alcove's sickly lamp. Rain still drums the windows, but the sound is muffled, like the building's holding its breath. I need out. I need daylight. I need to pretend none of this happened. But the exit by the loading dock is 3 halls away, and the card burns against my thigh with every step. I pass the circulation desk. The return slot gapes like a mail slot to nowhere. Something glints inside, metal. I lean closer. A brass key on a red ribbon, the kind librarians used before everything went digital. It wasn't there an hour ago. I fish it out. The ribbon is damp, smells like wet soil. Engraved on the key's bow, stacks, 13. My stomach knots. I should drop it, leave it, run. Instead, I loop the ribbon around my wrist. The metal warms instantly, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. Realistic anchor. Ridgewood's original 1958 blueprints, still taped inside the janitor's closet, show a service corridor behind the east wall labeled Stacks Expansion, Future. The project was scrapped when enrollment dropped in the 70s. The door was bricked over. Everyone knows that, except the key in my hand fits something. I head for the mezzanine stairs, the ones that spiral up to the balcony overlooking the main floor. The steps are metal grate, My sneakers clank too loud. Halfway up, the PA system crackles to life. Not the usual morning announcement chime, but a low hiss, like tape being rewound. A girl's voice leaks through, distorted, underwater. Attention, lost and found. Please return to section 13. The words loop, overlapping themselves until they're gibberish. I reach the landing. The balcony rail is wrapped in something pale. Apple blossoms, wilted, dripping dark sap that hisses where it hits the floor. They weren't there yesterday. I swear. The key throbs. I follow the railing to the far end, where a janitor's closet sits flush with the wall. The door is painted the same beige. No handle, just a keyhole shaped like an apple core. I slide the key in. It turns with a wet click, like biting into fruit. The door swings inward on silent hinges. Beyond is a narrow staircase descending, wooden, steep, smelling of earth and candle smoke. The steps shouldn't exist. The mezzanine is the top floor. I step through anyway. The door shuts behind me. No handle on this side. The stairwell is lit by a single bulb on a pull chain, swaying though there's no draft. I count 13 steps down. At the bottom, another door, oak, carved with the same apple core keyhole. I hesitate. The PA voice follows me, fainter now. Return to section 13, or be returned. I turn the key again. The door opens onto the hidden aisle, but it's changed. Wider. The shelves tower 2 stories, rolling ladders on brass rails. Moonlight spills from a skylight that can't exist underground. The floor is packed earth, soft underfoot, sprouting pale roots that glow faintly. Curiosity overrides panic. I walk. The shelves here are labeled with years: 1920, 1937, 1958, 1987, 2025. My year. I stop. A single book juts out, spine cracked, title embossed in gold. Ridgewood High. Class of 2025, unfinished. My fingers move before my brain catches up. The cover is warm, almost feverish. I open it. The first page is a senior portrait, mine, taken last month for the yearbook. Except my eyes are scratched out, deep gouges that weep red ink. The caption, still deciding. I flip. Blank pages, then a spread of Polaroids glued and crooked. Me in the cafeteria, me asleep in study hall, me standing right here, holding this exact book. The last photo is blank, emulsion still wet. A hand settles on my shoulder, cold, small, fingers like twigs. I spin. Eleanor Hayes stands behind me, translucent in her 1963 saddle shoes and pleated skirt. Her mouth moves, but the sound comes from the PA overhead. You borrowed my story. Return it. Her eyes are pits, black and endless. She reaches for the book. I clutch it to my chest. The roots underfoot surge, wrapping my ankles again, tighter. Sap burns where it touches skin. I stumble backward, hit a ladder. It rolls on its own, carrying me up toward the skylight. Eleanor follows, climbing the air, fingers inches from my hoodie strings. Fear is a living thing now, clawing up my throat. I kick at the roots. One snaps, spraying sap that smells like the orchard in August, sweet, overripe, wrong. The ladder stops at the top shelf. A book waits, larger than the others, bound in pale leather that looks disturbingly like skin. The title is embossed in raised scars, The Ledger of Borrowed Time. I don't want to open it. My hands do anyway. The pages are thick, parchment, inked in brown that flakes when I turn them. Names, dates, causes. Hayes, Eleanor M. March 14th, 1963. Orchard calls her home. Delgado, Ramiro J. October 31st, 1987, promised one more dance. And lower, fresh ink still wet. My name, November 12th, 2025, open the drawer. Beside my entry, a blank line waits for the method. I slam the ledger shut. Eleanor is level with me now, floating, her skirt untouched by gravity. She presses a finger to my lips. It tastes like chalk. Chill. The section keeps what it borrows. You took my card. I take your page. The roots climb my calves, my knees. The ledger opens itself in my arms, pages riffling to a new entry. A quill appears, feather black, nib dripping. It hovers over the blank line. Revelation is a blade between the ribs. The hidden section isn't a place. It's a transaction. Every student who vanished traded something. A memory, a future, a name, for knowledge they weren't meant to have. The books are contracts. The roots are signatures. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, but this one carves its grade into bone. I hurl the ledger down. It lands open on the earth floor, pages spreading like wings. Ink bleeds outward, forming a circle. Eleanor hisses, recoils. The roots loosen. I slide down the ladder, boots hitting soft dirt. The circle widens, revealing a trapdoor, iron ring, wood swollen with moisture. I yank it open. A tunnel slopes downward, walls lined with more roots, glowing faintly. Air rushes up, cool and damp, smelling of the basement beneath the auditorium. Escape, maybe, or deeper in. Behind me, Eleanor descends, feet not touching the rungs. You can't leave unpaid. Her voice is everywhere. PA, vents, inside my skull. I drop into the tunnel. The trapdoor slams above me. Darkness swallows everything but the glow of the roots. They pulse like veins, guiding me forward. My phone is still dead, but the key around my wrist burns hot enough to see by. I run. The tunnel twists, widens, narrows. Water drips somewhere. I pass side passages sealed with brick, some old, some new, mortar still wet. One has a date scratched, 1987. Another, 1963. The roots thicken, braiding into handholds. The tunnel ends at a metal door, rusted, padlocked. The key fits. I turn it. The lock disintegrates into flakes. Beyond is the school basement, familiar concrete, and flickering exit sign. I stumble through, slam the door. It vanishes behind me, leaving smooth wall. The basement smells like mildew and old gym mats. I collapse against a stack of folded bleachers, chest heaving. The key is gone from my wrist. In its place, a bruise shaped like an apple core. I check my pockets. The index card is still there, but my name has changed. Now it reads, returned, partial. See, next midnight. The basement light flickers once, then steadies on the red exit sign above the stairwell. My legs feel borrowed, knees wobbling like they've forgotten their own weight. I press my back to the cool concrete and slide down until I'm sitting on the cold floor, surrounded by the ghosts of pep rallies, folded bleachers, rolled up wrestling mats, a cardboard homecoming throne spray-painted gold and peeling. The bruise on my wrist throbs in the shape of that apple core keyhole. I tug my sleeve over it, but the heat leaks through cotton. Realistic anchor. The basement floods every spring when the creek behind the football field overflows. Sandbags still line the far wall from last March. City issue, stamped property of Ridgewood Public Works. The smell of damp sand and chlorine from the nearby boiler room is so ordinary it hurts. I want to stay here forever, counting water stains on the ceiling like clouds. But the PA crackles again, even down here where the speakers were removed years ago after a prank involving fart noises during finals. The same girl's voice, Eleanor's, only now it's layered with others. Boys, girls, a teacher maybe, overlapping like a corrupted choir. Partial returns are not accepted. Static swells, then cuts. In its place, faint music. That slowed down Sweet Caroline from the alcove, leaking through the vents. It's closer now, vibrating in the pipes. I push to my feet. The stairwell door is 20 feet away, metal, push bar scarred from decades of sneakers. I'm halfway there when the lights dim to brown out, then surge back. Shadows stretch, contract, stretch again. One of them detaches from the wall, a silhouette cut from black construction paper, edges too sharp. It glides across the floor, no feet, no sound. I freeze. It stops under the exit sign and tilts its head, the way a curious dog does. Where its face should be, two scratched out circles, like the yearbook photos. It raises an arm, my arm, hoodie sleeve and all, and points at the bruise on my wrist. Curiosity flickers, stupid and stubborn. I lift my sleeve. The bruise has darkened to plum, the apple core shape now etched in raised skin, like a brand. The shadow copies the motion, revealing its own wrist, smooth, unmarked. It wants the mark. It wants the debt. I yank the sleeve down and bolt for the stairs. The push bar is cold, slick with condensation. I shoulder through. The door swings into the ground floor hallway that runs behind the auditorium. Lockers line both sides. Senior hall, dented and sticker-bombed. Moonlight slices through the high transom windows, laying silver bars across the floor. My sneakers squeak, too loud. I kick them off, leave them like shed skin, and pad forward in socks. The bruise pulses with every heartbeat, a second watch ticking down. The hallway smells like floor wax and lingering cafeteria grease. Normal. Safe. I almost laugh. Then the lockers start breathing. Not all of them, just the ones with combination locks still set from last year. The dials spin on their own, click, 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 spelling out sequences I can't read. One locker pops open. Inside, a single red delicious apple, glossy, perfect. A bite taken out, the flesh already browning. Juice drips onto the metal shelf, hissing where it lands. The locker slams shut. Another opens 3 doors down. Same apple, same bite. Slam. It's migrating toward me, locker by locker, like a slow game of telephone. I run. The bruise burns now, hot enough to blister. I round the corner into the main corridor, trophy cases, bulletin boards layered with flyers for the blood drive next week. The apples follow, the sound of slamming metal chasing me like gunfire. I skid to a stop at the double doors to the auditorium. They're chained shut, but the chain is new, shiny. The padlock still has the plastic tag from the hardware store. I yank it. Locked. Behind me, the apples stop. Silence. The trophy case lights flicker on, the little halogens that showcase state championships from 1978. Inside, the trophies have changed. Instead of gold basketball players, tiny figurines of students mid-scream, mouths frozen open. One holds a yearbook. Another clutches an index card. The glass reflects me. Only my reflection is still, eyes scratched out, holding an apple with a bite missing. Real me blinks. Reflection me doesn't. It lifts the apple to its mouth and takes another bite. Juice runs down its chin like blood. Fear is no longer a feeling, it's architecture. The hallway narrows, ceiling lowering until I have to duck. The floor tilts toward the auditorium doors. I fight it, leaning back, but gravity has opinions. My socks slide on wax. I grab a locker handle. Cold metal bites my palm. The combination dial spins under my fingers. December 25th, '03. Christmas Day, 2003. The locker opens. Inside, a mirror, small, handheld, the kind girls used in the '90s. My reflection stares back, but it's me at 13, braces and bad haircut, eyes wide and unscratched. It mouths a single word, run. I drop the mirror. It doesn't shatter, lands soft, like it's made of felt. The hallway snaps back to normal size. The apples are gone. The bruise on my wrist has spread, veins of purple crawling toward my elbow. I look at the auditorium doors. The chain is gone. The push bar glows faintly, same moonlight as the hidden stacks. I have no choice. I push through. The auditorium is dark, rows of seats swallowed by shadow. The stage curtain is open, revealing the painted backdrop from last spring's musical, Sunrise over Generic Hills. A single spotlight burns center stage, harsh white. Under it, a card catalog drawer on a pedestal, same oak, same brass pull. It's waiting. I walk the aisle, each step echoing like I'm the only audience left. The drawer is open. One card inside, face up. My name. Lost, tonight. Returned, almost. Method, choice. Below the typed line, handwritten in red. A, stay and finish the story. B, leave and forget. C, trade. I stare. The spotlight flickers. Shadows pool at the edges of the stage. Dozens of them, all with scratched-out eyes. They watch. The bruise climbs my forearm, hot and itching. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, but some debts demand payment in ink. Revelation arrives quiet and merciless. The section isn't in the library. It's in the school's memory, in every hallway, every locker, every reflection. It borrows students the way libraries borrow books, due dates optional. The apples, the roots, the mirrors, they're reminders. Overdue notices. I look at the card again. Option C is circled in red, the ink still wet. Trade. Trade what? My future? My name? Sarah's laugh from the Spirit Week photo? I reach for the card. My fingers pass through it. Paper turns to smoke, reforms in my hand. The spotlight widens, revealing Eleanor on stage left, translucent, barefoot now. Mr. Delgado beside her, younger, in his janitor jumpsuit, eyes kind but tired. Behind them, more figures, kids in bell-bottoms, kids in grunge flannel, kids in hoodies like mine, all with scratched-out eyes, all holding apples. They speak in unison, voices through the PA, even though the speakers are dark. Choose. I back away. The aisle behind me is gone. Rows of seats replaced by orchard rows, trees heavy with fruit that glows faintly. Roots snake across the stage, curling around the pedestal. One brushes my ankle, gentle, almost affectionate. I jerk free. The card in my hand grows heavier, pages multiplying until it's a book. My book, the class of 2025 one, but now every page is filled. Photos of me at every age, every moment, eyes intact. The last page is blank except for a single line. Epilogue pending. The bruise reaches my shoulder. I feel it in my teeth. I tear the card, the book, whatever it is, in half. The sound is wet, like ripping flesh. The halves flutter to the stage, land as two perfect apples. The spotlight dies. Darkness rushes in, thick as theater curtains. I run blind, hands out, until I hit the back wall. Cinder block, familiar. I pound it. My fists leave bloody prints. The wall gives, swings open like a door. I fall through. I'm in the senior hallway again, dawn light filtering through the windows. The bruise is gone. My wrist is clean. The card is in my pocket, blank now. I check my phone. 5:47 a.m. battery at 1%. A text waits. Timestamp 12:03 a.m. Debt deferred. Interest accrues. I delete it. The screen cracks under my thumb. Outside, the rain has stopped. The hallway smells like lemon polish and possibility. I walk toward the exit, socks silent on the wax. Behind me, a locker slams once, soft, like a book closing. The hallway stretches longer than it should, lockers multiplying like reflections in a funhouse. My socked feet slap cold tile, each step leaving a damp print that fades too fast. Dawn light through the windows is the color of weak tea, but the shadows under the trophy cases stay black and thick. I pass the auditorium doors, chained again, the padlock dull with age. No sign of the orchard, the apples, the choir of scratched-out eyes. Just the faint smell of sawdust and the low hum of the vending machine at the far end, its glass front cracked in the shape of a spiderweb. Realistic anchor. That vending machine has been broken since sophomore year, the coin slot jammed with a 1998 quarter someone tried to force in. The crack happened during a senior prank involving a fire extinguisher. I know because I watched from the stairwell, laughing until I cried. The memory feels borrowed now, like I'm reading someone else's yearbook. I reach the machine. The digital clock above the selection buttons blinks 5:59, then 6 o'clock. Morning announcements should start in 30 minutes. Mrs. Patel's voice reminding everyone about the blood drive, the canned food deadline, the dress code violation tally. Instead, the PA crackles once and stays silent. The vending machine hums louder, almost conversational. I press my forehead to the cool glass. Inside, the usual suspects, stale chips, off-brand soda. But in the bottom row, a single slot glows faintly. A book, leather-bound, no title, wedged between two cans of flat orange crush. The price tag reads, "One memory." Curiosity is a hook in my ribs. I dig in my pocket for change. Nothing. The card, the blank one from the auditorium, is still there, edges soft now, like it's been handled too much. I slide it into the coin slot. The machine accepts it with a satisfied clunk. The book drops into the tray. I fish it out. It's warm, heavier than it looks. The cover is embossed with the Ridgewood crest, but the apple in the center is bitten, the missing chunk dripping red wax. I open it. The pages are mirrors, not reflective glass, actual silvered pages that show me, but wrong. First spread. Me at 8, gap-toothed, holding a library card for the first time. My reflection waves. I don't. Second spread. Me at 15, kissing Sarah behind the bleachers after the homecoming game. Reflection Sarah pulls away, eyes scratched out. Third spread. Me right now, standing in front of the vending machine, but the book in my hands is open to a blank page. Real me flips to the next mirror. It's empty. Waiting. The hallway lights flicker. Lockers breathe again, dials spinning. I clutch the book and run. The main lobby is ahead, glass doors, the trophy case with the cracked basketball from '78, the security camera that hasn't worked since the wiring upgrade. I skid to a stop. The camera's red light is on, blinking slow. It swivels to follow me. The lens is an eye, pupil scratched out. I backpedal. The vending machine behind me spits out the card I fed it, now printed with a single word in red, choice. I bolt left into the science wing. The floor here is newer, installed after the 2019 flood, still shiny enough to reflect the ceiling. My reflection runs beneath me, but it's lagging, half a step behind, mouth open in a scream I don't make. The bruise on my wrist is back, darker, spreading like spilled ink. I pass Lab 204, my old chemistry classroom. The door is ajar. Inside, the projector glows, casting a blue rectangle on the periodic table poster. On the screen, live feed of the hallway I just left. Me running. But the me on screen stops, turns, walks back toward the camera. It smiles with my mouth and lifts the mirror book. The pages flip on their own, showing the empty spread. The on-screen me writes something with a finger dipped in red. The real book in my hands grows hot. I open it. The empty page now reads, "Trade accepted." Fear is no longer a passenger, it's the driver. I slam the classroom door. The lock clicks from the inside, though I didn't touch it. The room smells like sulfur and dry erase markers. The lab tables are pushed into a circle, Bunsen burners lit, blue flames dancing low. In the center, a single desk. Mine, from junior year, carved initials, gum stuck underneath. On it sits the card catalog drawer from the auditorium, lid open. One card left. I approach. The flames lean toward me, curious. The card is thick, photograph stock. I turn it over. It's a Polaroid. Me, asleep in the library stacks, head on my arms, phone flashlight still on. Timestamp, 11:47 p.m., 13 minutes before midnight. The me in the photo opens his eyes, looks straight at the camera, smiles. The photo me sits up, stands, walks out of frame. The card goes blank. The projector clicks off. The room plunges into flame blue dark. The Bunsen burners hiss higher. Shadows peel from the walls, tall, thin, student-shaped. They circle the desk, scratching out their eyes with lab scalpels that glint in the firelight. One stops in front of me. It's Sarah, but not. Her hoodie is mine, stolen sophomore year. Her eyes are pits. She holds out the mirror book. The cover now reads, "Payment Plan." I back away. The circle tightens. The flames spell words on the tabletops, burned into the laminate. Stay/forget/trade. Same options. I grab a fire extinguisher from the wall. Real, heavy, the pin still sealed. I yank it free. The shadows hiss, recoil from the red canister. I spray. White foam arcs, hissing where it hits flame. The circle breaks. I run for the supply closet at the back, always unlocked, always stuffed with broken microscopes and fetal pigs in jars. I slam the door. Darkness. The closet smells like formaldehyde and fear. I lean against the shelves. Something shifts behind me. A hand, small, cold, touches my neck. Eleanor's voice, soft, almost kind. "You chose C trade, but you haven't named the price." I spin. She's there, solid now, barefoot on the dusty floor. Her skirt brushes jars labeled dissection specimens. She holds the Polaroid. The photo me is gone. In its place, Sarah, asleep in her dorm in Portland, phone glowing with my last text, sent 3 months ago, unread. Revelation is a slow bleed. The section doesn't take your future. It takes someone else's. Collateral. Interest on the debt. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, but this one writes its syllabus in other people's names. I lunge for the Polaroid. Eleanor lets me take it. The photo is warm, pulse-like. Sarah's eyes open in the image. She looks confused, then scared. The closet door behind me creaks open on its own. The science wing is gone. Orchard rows stretch into darkness, trees heavy with glowing fruit. Roots crawl across the threshold, slow but determined. I back into the shelves. Jars topple, formaldehyde splashing. The pigs float, eyes milky. Eleanor steps aside. Pay, or be paid for. The roots reach my ankles. I look at the Polaroid. Sarah's mouth moves. My name, soundless. The bruise climbs my neck, hot and itching. I tear the photo in half. Sarah's image splits. Half stays in my hand, half flutters to the roots. They absorb it, glowing brighter. The bruise retreats to my wrist, fades to a faint scar. The orchard recedes. The closet door shows the science wing again. Flames out, shadows gone. I step through. The Polaroid half in my hand is blank. The card catalog drawer sits on my desk, empty. The PA crackles one last time. Debt transferred. Next borrower notified. The classroom door is open. Hallway beyond is bright with morning light. Students' voices echo. First period starting. I walk out. My reflection in the trophy case has eyes. For now, the hallway is alive with first period chaos. Lockers clanging, sneakers squealing. The PA finally coughing out Mrs. Patel's voice about the blood drive. But everything feels like a movie projected on gauze. I drift through it, barefoot, socked feet leaving no prints. The scar on my wrist is a thin white line now, shaped like a bitten apple. No one notices. A freshman bumps me, apologizes, keeps moving. His eyes are intact. Mine feel borrowed. Realistic anchor. The blood drive table is already set up in the lobby. Red Cross banners, clipboards, those little juice boxes with the foil straws. Volunteers in matching t-shirts hand out stickers that say I gave. I walk past. The scar itches. I don't stop. I need the library. Not the hidden section, the real one. I need to see if the wall is still solid, if the microfiche cabinets are where they belong, if the clock above the circulation desk still reads normal time. I push through the double doors. The smell hits first. Lemon polish, old paper, wet umbrellas. Morning light pours through the tall windows. Dust motes dancing like slow snow. Students hunch over laptops, earbuds in, oblivious. The circulation desk is empty. The student worker hasn't clocked in yet. I head for the back wall. It's there. Cinder block, beige paint, no seam. I press my palm to it. Cold. Solid. My reflection in the dark glass of a study Corel shows a kid who could pass for ordinary. Hoodie zipped, hair messy, eyes tired but whole. I exhale. The scar tingles, a reminder that ordinary is a temporary loan. Curiosity is a dull ache now, not a hook. I wander the stacks anyway, trailing fingers over spines. The local history section is untouched. The 1963 yearbook sits where it always has, cover cracked, gold lettering flaking. I pull it free. Dust plumes. I open to Eleanor's page. Her photo is pristine. Eyes bright, smile shy, no scratches. The caption reads, Eleanor Hayes, future journalist. I flip further. The Halloween dance spread, Mr. Delgado young and smiling, no witch-costumed girl beside him. The PA malfunction entry in the index is gone, like someone edited the past with a very sharp eraser. I close the book. The scar burns. I look down. The white line has darkened, a single red dot appearing at the core, like a seed sprouting. I shove the yearbook back. It doesn't fit flush. Something blocks the shelf. I reach in. My fingers close around a small, cold object, the brass key on its red ribbon, damp again, smelling of soil. It wasn't there yesterday. I know because I alphabetized this section last spring for extra credit. The PA crackles. No announcement, just a low hum. Then Eleanor's voice, soft, almost amused. Interest compounds. The lights flicker. Students glance up, annoyed, then back to screens. No one else hears her. I clutch the key. It pulses, warm, alive. I head for the mezzanine stairs. My bare feet make no sound on the metal grate. The janitor's closet door is ajar. The keyhole glows faintly. I hesitate. The scar spreads, red threads crawling toward my elbow. I think of Sarah in Portland, waking up to a text she'll never understand. I think of the half Polaroid the roots absorbed. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught, but some debts demand a final exam. I turn the key. The door swings inward. The staircase descends. 13 steps, same as before, but now it's lined with mirrors. Each reflects a different year. 1963, Eleanor waving. 1987, Mr. Delgado locking up alone. 2025, me, older, gray at the temples, standing in this exact spot, eyes scratched out. The reflections ripple as I pass. The bottom door opens onto the hidden aisle, but it's different, smaller, almost cozy. A single reading lamp glows on a round table. The card catalog drawer waits, lid closed. One brass pull, one card inside. I open it. My name. Lost, tonight. Returned, voluntary. Method, closure. Below, handwritten in my own handwriting, though I've never seen it before. I keep the section. It keeps me. Fear is gone, replaced by something quieter. Acceptance, maybe, or surrender. I sit. The chair is warm, shaped to my body, though I've never sat here. The mirrors lining the walls show every borrower who chose this seat. Eleanor, Mr. Delgado, dozens of others, all smiling now, eyes restored. They nod. The roots under the table brush my ankles, gentle. The scar on my wrist blooms into a perfect apple, red and gold, then fades to skin. Revelation is a soft click, like a book sliding into its exact place on the shelf. The section doesn't steal. It hires. Librarians for the stories no one else will shelf. I am the new guardian. The key dissolves in my hand, ribbon fluttering to the floor like a bookmark. The drawer empties. The mirrors go dark. The aisle widens, shelves straightening. Books arranging themselves by a system only I will ever understand. I stand. The lamp dims to a night-like glow. Somewhere above, the morning bell rings, first period ending. I walk the aisle. It parts for me. I touch a spine. It whispers its catalog number. I touch another. It tells me the date it's due. I am the due date now. The wall at the end is seamless, but I know how to open it. I know every seam in the school. I step through. The main library. Students pack up, laughing, alive. The clock reads 7:55 a.m. I slip behind the circulation desk. The student worker arrives, startled to see me. "You're early," she says. I smile. My eyes are kind. My hands know where every book belongs. The day unfolds. I check out novels, stamp due dates, shelf returns. The scar is gone. In its place, a faint tattoo, an apple with a single bite missing. No one notices. At lunch, I eat in the staff room with Mr. Delgado. He doesn't remember the dance, the witch, the partial return. He only remembers retiring next year. I nod, pour him coffee. Midnight comes. The building empties. I lock the front doors, turn off the lights. The wall opens for me. I step into section 13. The lamp is on. The drawer waits. A new card sits inside. Fresh ink. Misaligned typewriter font. Sarah last name. Lost, tonight. Returned, pending. See, Debt transfer. I smile. The roots hum approval. I slide the card into place. The mirrors light up. Eleanor waves. Mr. Delgado raises a mug. I take my seat. The section breathes around me. Content. I think some lessons were never meant to be taught. But some stories need a librarian. The building settles into its nighttime rhythm. Pipes ticking as they cool. The faint rustle of papers left on desks. Wind slipping through cracked windows to stir dust into slow spirals. Somewhere a locker sighs shut. The library smells of lemon polish and possibility.